Hello, and welcome to this video series about using Internet Information Services version 7, also called IIS 7. The techniques will be shown on Windows Vista with Service Pack 1, and you can do the same things that you see here with a version of IIS 7 that comes along with Windows Server 2008. This video will cover using the new FastCGI module, available in the version of IIS 7 that's found in Windows Vista with Service Pack 1, and available in Windows Server 2008. There's also a version of FastCGI that's available for download for IIS 6, which runs on Windows Server 2003 machines. The Common Gateway Interface, or CGI, allows a program's logic to be exposed as web content. The most popular kind of programs to be used in this way are those that interpret scripts for programming languages, like Ruby, Perl, and PHP. In the past, these single-threaded applications could be configured to run under Internet Information Services using CGI. Older versions of CGI would work simply by starting up a new process every time a request had come in, and then after a web response was delivered, it would then close off that process. This works, but it has quite a bit of overhead. Now when you install CGI, you still get this behavior, but as well a new module is also installed called FastCGI. FastCGI is a speedier alternative in which the program is started once, and then it can satisfy multiple requests. Performance is then much better in this way. Now that we have CGI installed on this machine, which includes both the older CGI module as well as the newer FastCGI module, let's now download and install PHP. It's available from php.net. Versions 5.2.1 and later contain key performance enhancements that are specific to Microsoft Windows machines. These were made by Zend, which is a leading company involved with PHP. Zend also markets their own version of PHP called Zend Core for Windows that adds additional performance enhancements. At this point, we're downloading the freely available version in a zip file. I'll just place it on the desktop. Using this zipped distribution automatically includes all the different extensions that are available for PHP, such as extensions to reference database engines, like a Microsoft SQL Server database. With that zip file now downloaded, we'll go ahead and extract it to the root of the C drive in a folder simply called PHP. The path that we choose is important to remember for later when we go to set up a handler for FastCGI. We've now installed everything that we need, so now it's simply time to configure it. We'll first run the iNet Manager tool, which requires elevated privileges. And selecting the node for the server in the tool, we see a couple of new icons, CGI and ISAPian CGI restrictions. As well, under modules, we find two new pieces here. The older version called CGI module and the new FastCGI module. We'll be setting up a handler for PHP files that makes use of this new FastCGI module. In fact, let's do that now at a server-wide level. Referencing handler mappings, we can add in a specific handler for PHP as a module mapping. If the request is any PHP file, then we'll want to use the FastCGI module and have it refer to the executable in the PHP folder under the C drive, which is specific for use with FastCGI. Changing the focus to exe files, there are three different options for us, and it may be tempting to choose the one called PHP-Win. But the proper choice is actually PHP-CGI, which is specifically designed for use with FastCGI. With that choice in place, now we simply need to name this handler mapping, and we could call it something like PHP FastCGI. Here it's asking if we'd like to allow the PHP application to run under FastCGI. And yes, we do. And with that in place, all we have to now do is add some PHP content. This web server doesn't have anything special going on yet. All we have is default website being served out from the C inetpub www root folder, and nothing special inside. In order to add a new file in this folder in Vista, we'll have to be running an editing tool like Notepad as an administrator, so I'll press Shift-Control-Enter in order to run Notepad with elevated privileges. We'll create a very simple PHP script and have it just call into this PHP info function. Saving this file as test.php under the inetpub www root folder, we can now test it out in the browser. Surfing to localhost test.php. Now we see a rich informational page describing all the settings that have been configured for this version of PHP. These are all found in the php.ini file, and some applications will require that you make changes to these settings. In our case, this file is found in the C PHP folder. And there are some sample versions of php.ini that you can test out. PHP.ini recommended and PHP.ini dist. Renaming one of these as php.ini allows you to configure all these various different settings. And in making any kind of change to the php.ini file, to see those changes, we then have to recycle the appropriate application pool, which in our case is the default application pool. Not a lot of changes, but after refreshing, we would now see them represented here. With the handler mapping for PHP configured to use fast CGI, we're now enjoying about 20 times faster performance as compared to just using the CGI module. We hope you've enjoyed this walkthrough about configuring PHP and fast CGI on IIS 7. Having this option available makes Windows Server 2008 a very compelling platform to deploy PHP applications.